Hello everybody, what's going on? My name is Sir Medieval and today we're going to be checking out some Blackthorn Arena. Been playing this one for a little while now, about a couple days, and it's been absolutely fun. If you're a fan of strategy RPGs like Divinity 2 or Divinity Original Sin 2 more notably, maybe even ones like Pillar of Eternity, I think you could definitely enjoy a game like this. It's basically a gladiator management simulator where you're able to actually hire a team of slaves or, gladiators that you can make and mold into different types of warriors. You get different types of specs that you can go into and all kinds of things like that. And then you have arena fights that you can do. And then also you can fight off against monsters and not just other people, but, monsters themselves. You get money for it. You can upgrade your gear. You can upgrade all of your troop stats and stuff like that. Really cool stuff though, but I'm here to show you it today a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, here we go. So right now we've got the Gladiator main room. These are the cells. Well, actually, this is the training ground that you're looking at here. These are the actual cells where they're kept in, but I never keep my gladiators in their cells. They're always like outside training in the training grounds or in the main hall, just chilling out and eating food and stuff like that. When you first start off the game, you start out with no people. Like, you don't actually have people that can do things like become a cook or things that can become a drill master, for instance, or even a healer. You've got the torture chamber for the warden sitting right there and things like that. But the way that it works essentially is that you start off with like a team of 2 gladiators and you have to start winning fights, and then you have to start hiring more and more, or capturing more and more, I should say. And then if they're resistant, like if they don't want to do anything for you until you break them, you have to give them to the warden right here in a torture chamber. And this increases their obedience until the point where they will do what you say without any like hassle or trying to run away, things like that. Then you can also hire people that are good at like smithing. This guy I hired pretty early on, and he's our blacksmith. You can also research recipes alongside actually smithing weapons and armor. So if I wanted to, I could smith these sabers, or I could basically upgrade any gear that I currently have into the tier 2 version of it. But any gear that I have right now is usually just being worn by my best gladiators. I have a team of 8 gladiators, 8 fighters rather, and then the rest of them are basically just specialists like the warden here, and then the medic. After battles, you usually find that your gladiators might be a little bit low on health like this, but these guys are still at 95%, so they're okay. But this is where you can actually heal them, and then you can also research new potions and stuff like that to craft. And on top of that, you can actually make different types of potions. Like each gladiator is going to have like a morale, and if you have a low morale, they might start wanting to run away. I've never gotten to the point where they've actually gotten to 0%, but you can actually research morale potions. And when you research it, it gives you a random recipe, so you don't really know what you're getting. So it's best to just do it whenever you possibly can. And then you can make these bad boys right here. And then if you take a look at my my slave list, I do have all of them right here for my fighters, all the way down at the bottom here. My 4 best, these are the ones that I pretty much started with. And then I added these 4 later on. But everybody's got their own special motive or special technique. This guy right here is my secondary tank. You can also customize the way they look. And you can customize, all the types of gear that they have, and also their skills, their tactics, things like that. Like a little bit like Dragon Age, where you can actually set different tactics and triggers for them to do specific things at specific moments. And then also for this guy, I have him as my, of course, one-handed sword and shield guy. But they also have specializations, kind of like how you would see in Dragon Age or maybe Divinity as well. And for this dude, I've got the defender spec, which allows him to basically go more into tanking, like on the defensive side. However, he's actually able to revive himself if he ever is defeated or dies. He'll revive himself like 5 seconds later, which is pretty cool to say the least. And then also for this guy, I've got him like some of the best stuff, but he's not better than my main tank. This guy is one of my dual wielding warriors, but he doesn't spec into like dexterity. He's more about the brute force and the strength, as opposed to the actual, so he's more like a warrior than a rogue. And then I've got her, she's my actual 2-handed warrior right there. I've got my main tank, one-handed mace, I guess, and shield. That's one of my specialists. One of my specialists. And then this is my bow girl right here. I love her. They all have different abilities and things like that too. So you'll notice like these have different icons and different effects and things like that you can get into. And this list right here shows you a list of all the weapons that you can use. So you got like weapon and shield, range weapon, dual wielding, pole arms, which I do have a pole arm girl, And you've got two-handed weapons and one-handed weapon alone. And you can make some pretty strong combinations with all of this stuff. It can actually be really deadly, and I definitely recommend checking it out if you do like strategy-based games. But just to kind of go off of what we were talking about earlier for monsters and fighting other gladiators, when you open up the world map, as you can see here, you've got all these different battles that are going on right now. The ones that are highlighted, those are the ones that are kind of close to your level, the ones that you're able to do. Since I've got people at max level though, all of them are highlighted. But if you see these sword icons here, that means that the battle's already in progress. But if you see these ones that are open, that means we can join this one, which we are about to in just a second. But you actually have your own arena, because these are other people's arenas that you can actually go to have these fights. But if you want to go to yours, you click this one right here, and then you can actually host your own games. You don't unlock the ability to do this though until later on in the storyline, but you can choose what type of show you want, or if you want to have like these Venetians, I guess they call it, for versus like beasts. You can have wolves, boars, bears, rhinos, crocodiles, all the way up to like crazy big creatures like a troll. And you can also have a competition where multiple teams join up, and it's like a tournament. And the better stakes, the better the reward that you have, the higher the attraction level goes up. And then in turn, since you get an income share, the attraction will kind of bring more fame to your name as well. But for us, we're going to be jumping into this. Looks like there's 8 teams for this tournament. So I'm going to be bringing my best out here if I possibly can. They tend to do that sometimes if they're training on dummies. Sometimes they'll just lock up in animation as you're going into the screen. All right, so let's get our 4 best out here first. Okay, now this right here, these 2 red circles or squares, sorry, does on the sidelines, these are actually backups. So if I want to have, let's say, I'll have Deacon and I'll have myself as backup. And we're gonna go ahead and start this match. And then right after this, I'll show you a little bit of how you can level up in the game as well. It's a pretty cool game so far, though. I'm actually really enjoying it. I wish that it had like an open world mode, or there was a game that was like it that could allow you to actually explore in the open world and do stuff like this, because it is really sweet so far. So you can see the 4 teams here on our side, and you can see the 4 teams here on their side, and we're going up against each other, duking it out. So it looks like I'm up first. I'm betting 1,000 coins on myself. And I can also spectate the other battles if I wanted to, but not today. All right. Looks like this is my crew right here. And then, yep, usually they'll show the enemies. Okay, looks like we got a big fight here. Usually I play as my tank because I don't trust myself to play as any of the other people, because you do get a lot of different like abilities and stuff like that that you can make use of. Like my 2-handed warrior right here that I've got selection of, she can put down a war banner that buffs everybody in its area, do some kind of warlike shout, which also buffs people in a specific area too. But for myself, medieval, I just put this guy on under my control because he's kind of easier to use and watch what everybody else is doing. And if I need to move somebody out of place or something like that, I can easily do that. Plus he's got the taunts, so I got to make sure that he starts the battle right away. He's also capable of healing if need be. Got my taunt off. Boom. Everybody kind of does their own thing mostly. Jump attack. I think everybody's okay. Oh, yeah. You've defeated your competition. Oh, you know what? Actually, this is new. One of the cool mechanics about this game is that after the battle, you can choose whether your competitors live or die. And then you have to kind of read the crowd, so you kind of have to squint your eyes and see if they're actually going thumbs up or going thumbs down. It's kind of hard to tell from a lot of different angles like this, and sometimes you have these really big arenas where it's just almost impossible to tell who's doing what. But I think someone right here, no, he's doing a thumbs up. Actually, it looks like pretty much everybody is doing thumbs up right now. Because thumbs down, you'll notice it. You'll know exactly when you see it. Basically them going a completely different animation. Kind of like, let's see. Actually, no, they're all doing thumbs up. So yeah, there's that. They all want to live. They all want them to live. And then if you choose the right option, then you can gain favor, basically. But if you choose the wrong option, you will lose favor. Now, sometimes you can choose the wrong option intentionally if you want to, but that will still, you know, get that penalty for the favor, not make you gain it at all. And also, even though it tells me that I can level up here, it's actually just level 25 for the max level. So now we watch the other teams fight it out. And people can die in these arenas. Even if, you know, you spare them, they can still die, which sucks, but it does happen. It's always important to be super careful. Only fight battles that you know you'll have a really good chance at. You don't want to really gamble. I mean, you know, it's high risk, high reward, but there's a certain extent to that too. Okay, looks like they've got a big squad going here. Real big people. All right, switch back to our tank. Let's get this going. Also important to watch out for traps too. Gotta heal him. Okay. Oh, it looks like somebody wants him to die. Okay. So as you can see here, now that this bar goes the other way instead, let me see if I can actually find some people that are doing some thumbs down. It's kind of hard to notice. Still, just in this arena entirely. It seems like they are all doing thumbs up, to be honest, though. I'm not really seeing anybody doing a thumbs down, but crowd is right. When the crowd's right, the crowd's right. Now, what's cool, though, I really wish we could actually loot this stuff. If you try to loot this stuff in the arena, it'll let you, like, pick it up sometimes, but it won't actually, you know, go back with you. I wish it did. All right, last fight. Here we go. Time to see what they can do. Now, if your people take a lot of damage after the fight, or, you know, during the fight or whatever, there's a chance that they could die, but they could just be disabled for the rest of the tournament, or they could be just severely injured but still be able to fight. Okay, ow. It's important to make sure to be careful, though, no matter what. Spin attack. Oh my god, decimated. Oh, somebody's got the buff, the defender buff. Boom, shield smashed him. Alright, looks like the crowd wants him to live. And yes, the amount of gladiator instances of roleplay that you can do would be crazy. You can repeatedly ask the crowd if they're not entertained or not if you want to. That's completely up to you. Alright, looks like we won the match. Everything's good to go. So now we can just basically go back to the stadium, or the arena. Everybody looks to be normal in terms of their state, but more than likely at least one or two of these guys has got some low HP. That's how much money I got right there, which was really good. And also my bet is added on top of that, so that's going to be a really good chunk of change. And then also, of course, we get this trophy, these trophies, armors and weapons to go along with it. And then after the fight, like I said before, you'll probably have to go to the treatment room. Looks like everybody's actually okay here, which is good. But after you put somebody in there, if you end a turn, they start to regain health over time, which is pretty sweet. And I can just put them right back in here for the training. And oh, one cool thing as well I wanted to show you. You can actually go into a third-person mode like this. You can't do much with this right now, but you can actually walk around and see your people training and stuff like that. It's pretty sick. That's honestly one of the things that made me absolutely in love with this game. And then you can actually go all the way around your arena if you want to. It was a rat. I think that's the door outside. But you can find like your... This is a smithy right here. What's up, dude? I don't know what this room is. Something that this guy isn't using right now, clearly. But you can go all the way up here and find your main hall. Nobody's in here, though. They've always been training. I really should give them a day off, though, you know? But when they're all max level, then they can have a day off. That's the rule. You can also always hire more gladiators, too, if you want to. One thing that's going to happen soon is that we're about to get into the main final battle. Like, it's going to be a really big arena that gets hosted. And because of what happened in the story, I'm actually the one that's going to be hosting that battle. But after the battle, though, everybody who basically wins it goes free. So I'm going to lose some gladiators. I don't know if there's actually a way to play the game after that, or if it just ends entirely. We'll have to see, though. All right, let's see. Hold on. Turn that down. I just realized how loud that was. Okay, so let's do one more. So for this one, and there are some arenas that will actually allow you to fight monsters and stuff like that. But the ones that are popping up right now, these guys are mainly just tournament arenas. So let's do this one here. There's also an arena leaderboard here where you can kind of see where you're at in the ranks. I should be pretty high up here, actually. I don't know why I'm not seeing my guys anymore. There was just a patch, though, so it might have reset the game's arena leaderboards or something like that. Anyway, this one's a 1v1, but there are 8 different teams. So there's 8 different people that we have to go through. But it's probably going to be a total of around maybe 3 or 4 fights. Something like that. Let's see what we got here. Okay. And then I'm fighting a guy named Pierre. It looks like he is sword and board just like me. Good to see. Good to see. But unluckily for him, I've got my heals on this guy. So he's got not only the heals, but he's got some really good buffs that he can use, which is insanely good. And it's going to take this guy by surprise for sure. I can't wait for this fight. Okay, buddy, let's go. All right, so basically, if you're doing 1v1s, most important thing to know, holy crap, dude was gone. Oh, I'm bleeding. Looks like he's dead. Most important thing to remember is that you've got to use the environment around you. There's going to be traps. There's going to be, you know, instances where you can heal up and then come back into the fight. If you keep running around, you'll actually be able to just, you know, kite them until you're back to full health and you can try the fight all over again. You know, it's all about what you want to use. But sometimes you go fight certain types of enemies that are just basically bound to tear you apart. Case in point, if you ever find the were snake, because I fought him a few times and he's actually very hard to beat. That one is probably one of the craziest. It attacks so fast that it literally will interrupt almost everything that you do. So it's very important to make sure that you are taking the greatest care when fighting stuff like that. Like Buddy Boy wants to challenge me here. Nope. What did I just do? Come on, let me shield bash him. Oh, he ran. One thing to note as well is you actually have to land your direct hit. So if you're not close enough, you got to get close enough, basically. Got him. Looks like they'll live for now. I love seeing that happening, though. It's always fun. Sorry, I'll tab for a second. It's always fun to see how the crowd reacts. You just really get those gladiator vibes when you're in situations like this. You really do. Looks like it's just one left. Let's do this. Donna. Oh, come on. What's she gonna do? Actually, that's a pretty big sword she's got. Or saber, I guess. But this is overall the gist of the game, but it is pretty fun though. It does feel a lot like a, you know, like a gladiator-based Divinity, and I like it. It's still in early access, just released, but I'm way too powerful for these guys. Way too powerful. Finish him. Oh, looks like she's dead. I'm kind of glad they added this in because sometimes it's kind of hard to tell what the crowd wants. Oh, there's one guy. There's one guy that's doing the thumbs down. I told you we'd find one. Totally. Yep, looks like they all want him to die. Holy crap. Or most of them. Oh, see? There was like 2 weapons right there. It's not going to let me bring it back with me, though. I wish it did. But I guess that would be, you know, the Arena Masters would probably never let that happen. They'd want their weapons and armor back, I bet. But we got a good amount from that. That was really good. And my guy is completely okay from that. Sweet. Now, it's always important to keep your guys training as well, just as the last thing. Oh, you'll also get these quick time events where people are like arguing with each other, like in Mountain Blade. I just punish them both. I punish them all. You know, I don't want to play favorites here. None of that. But it's important to keep your people training so that, you know, you can keep becoming more and more ready for the main story quest, because as time progresses, you get closer and closer to specific story events all the way up until the end game. So we'll have to see how this goes overall for this game's development, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I really like this game so far. If you like RPGs and you like strategy-based games, I definitely think this could be one for you, especially if you enjoyed Divinity, Pillars of Eternity, and games like that. Definitely be sure to check this out. Oh, and Tyranny too, games like that as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a good one. I'll catch you later.